Hey, let's talk Silva versus Jake Paul. Hey, that was a hell of a goddamn fight. I don't know what you guys saw. And it does further legitimize Jake Paul claim that he is a legitimate fighter. Like I'm watching this guy, he's making moves, making tactical steps. It's just fascinating to watch. But I would love to talk more about the Silva. See, this is what was so fascinating about watching Silva and why I'm just strictly amazed. So, like, I'm about 31, 32. I'm an old man. Just kidding. I'm not that old, but you know what I'm talking about. But this man's fucking 47. 47 goddamn years old. And so I'm watching a 47-year-old lion that's been retired, been done off the game. And this mother bleeper is it took him about a round to kind of figure out the Jake Paul situation. And once that round was over, that man went to work. Like I was thoroughly just fascinated by watching him go to work because it's like you're watching. He's like, okay, I'm looking at first. I'm like, damn, Jake Paul's kind of pushing him around. Silver's sitting there moving, dodging, putting hands down, moving, go. And I'm watching. I'm like, huh. Silva's processing this guy. He's trying to fill out the power. He's going through his standard steps. Like you fill out the power, figure out the speed, figure out what hurts you, what's his range, what's his motions. And as soon as Silva downloaded the information and realized, okay, this guy is not an unstoppable guy. He hasn't hit me with anything that I've never been hit before. He went to work. The man went to work. I don't know if anybody else is watching this shit, but he went to work. And like it was a beautiful thing to watch because it's not too often that you get to see like just a young lion take on such an old character. And this is further legitimizing the claim to Jake Paul. Like I don't know what anybody else is saying, but this man is no longer just a YouTuber. Like I'm looking at this guy like he's a thoroughbred fighter. Like it's very quite fascinating to, just to watch and watch the breakdown of it. And so anyway, I'm watching the fight, processing. I'm looking at this old man pretty much deal with the young Jake Paul. And at no point did I ever look at Silva and say, man, this guy's in trouble, which is even more impressive on Silva's behalf. Like, we are going to talk about Jake Paul, like, damn, he beat Anderson Silva. But this is not the same Anderson Silva as back in his UFC prime. Everybody understands this is an old man, but still, even at an old man's age, to be able to move like that, to be able to take those shots. And even when he got clipped because he was being aggressive. It wasn't like Jake Paul was stalking him down, walking him down. If you watch most of the early fight, Silva was pretty much like taking it to Jake Paul, which I don't understand. I was watching the card. I was looking at my fight, like my own standard card. I was like, how is Jake Paul up on the cards? Like I thought it was a pretty it was a close fight, but I thought Silva was kind of edging him out because Silva's doing the stalking, Silva's doing the walking down. And Jake Paul thoroughly looked kind of scared to some degree because he knew he can get touched up. And like we're just watching, I'm looking like, okay, Silva's coming. Even when he stepped in and he saw that shot, he basically got clipped with a short right from his own force walking into the shot. But even like just, I don't think people are really understanding the magnitude. Everybody's gonna hate, oh, he fought an old man. No, I don't think you understand. The real story is Anderson Silva is still the fucking GOAT. Like fucking everything else. Forget what else you guys are talking about. Silva is still legitimately a dangerous dude. And like that's just so crazy to think that this old lion fought all those years through the shoot to box, went through Pride, went through a whole entire UFC roster where he ruled for damn near almost a decade and a half. Got slaughtered on the back end of it, took some bad losses, got beat up a little bit, and still on the back end of his life, well, not the back end of his life, he's still fairly a young lion. I mean, in the grand scheme of life, he's still out there working with the young dudes. I don't think people understand or comprehended what we're watching. Like this is legendary shit on both ends. I think Silva's stock went up, Jake Paul's stock went up. Everybody won this fight. The fans got entertained. We saw Jake get pushed. We saw Jake go the distance. It was oh my god, like just a beautiful fight. And wherever Silva goes, I don't know who Silva can fight next. Really, maybe Mike Tyson. If we get Silva and Mike Tyson in there, Jesus Christ, that would be some goat shit. But Jake Paul, I definitely see the Nate Diaz fight. This all worked out. Personally, I wanted Jake Paul to win because it further legitimizes his career, and we get to see more Jake Paul better fights. Because if you lose to Silva, it's like, what are we going to do? A rematch? So now you're going to fight a 48-year-old Silva? Like, and then if you lose to Silva twice, it's like, oh, what are we doing here? But then it's like Silva walks away in a magnificent show of display of heart, courage, still got the killer in him. And oh my God, just a beautiful story, beautiful fight. I'm excited for the Jake Paul experiment. Keep it going and keep the Silva going. I want to see Silva, man. If we get Silva, Mike Tyson, get those two together, figure out how we can make that work. Because fuck what Tyson talking about. I don't want to fight no more. Yeah, you tell Silva, Mike Tyson, hey, I'm in for it. Because that's the beautiful thing about this fight game that we're now getting onto. Boxing has done such a terrible job at their own marketing and building their own characters that we're getting boxers where they essentially they don't want to fight the best guys. So it's like, okay, you don't want to fight the best guys. So they fight random individuals who we don't have any clue who these people are, and they demand these high prices to fight these people. And we're like, bro, nobody wants to watch you display your skills against somebody we already know you're superior to. That makes no sense. Now, I'll pay a lot of money to watch Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. I'll pay money for that because that's two display of two goats fighting each other. But I'm not gonna pay Errol Spence fight a fucking restaurant guy, like a guy who just got the bus stop. Get the fuck out of here. What are we talking about? So boxing just shoots itself in the foot consistently because they don't understand marketing and they think people actually care about the skills of boxers, which blows our mind. And that's why I'm loving this new fight like thing we got going on because the UFC now has our legitimate like okay we can watch legitimate fights where the best are actually combating. And then boxing we have this little sideshow where we just have big names going at each other like the Le'Veon Bell and Uriah Hall. I was pretty interested in that. That was a decent fight. Like I know who Le'Veon Bell is. So he was a football player. That's interesting to me. Uriah Hall, he just was a guy that was decent in the UFC. Kicked that guy in the Ultimate Fighter, and we all enjoyed the fight. It was a decent thing. We had a decent storyline, and that's the funny part. Even that storyline is such a shitty storyline, but it's so much better than what everything else is prevents for what everything that boxing pretty much puts out. Because I don't know who Terrence Crawford is. Like I know that he boxes, but I don't know what the fuck Terrence Crawford is. I don't know what he does. I have no idea what a Terrence Crawford does or what he is. All I know is that he can throw hands at people, and apparently that makes you entertaining for some reason. I can't comprehend. So anyway, we conclude all this saying, Jake Paul stock went up, Anderson Silva stock went up. The fans loved it. Keep the YouTube boxing thing going, where we just have random individuals from different storylines coming at each other and fighting, because this is what combat sports essentially is going to be made out of for the next 20, 30 years, unless we get some great rewrite of something that can shake everything up. Outside of that, hey, this is what we want. So I'm looking forward to Nate Diaz and Jake Paul. That's gonna be a hell of a fucking build up promotion. I can't wait. Illiterate Jake Paul, illiterate Big Diaz. I don't know whose IQ is lower, but I'm willing to pay to find out.